Chat, hello, how's it going? Welcome in to this week's Scrim School ScrimCast. Thank you guys for being here tonight. Our guests for this evening are one, the Titan himself, CoolCheese, and two, Mr. Chaos Reach King, NoiseTank. If this is your first Scrim School here, what we do is we spend the first hour or so chatting with the guests, getting to know them. You guys as chat are allowed to ask questions. Feel free to type in chat, and I will try and catch up to them as quickly as I can. And then the second half, we bring in viewers, students, and hopefully let them learn from these guys in more of a one-on-one, one-on-two setting. Let's undeafen and bring them in. Yeah? Gentlemen, how's it going? Hello. There's a lot of cool cheeses in general. Looks like you got friends already.
Yeah, may or may not have been, or one of them may or may not have been saying a slur, by the way. Just
perfect.
one with the NBA, the one with the NBA logo.
All right, we'll definitely get that handled immediately. That's unacceptable. So obviously, NoiseTank, you've been on here before, Jordan.
Yeah.
What we do is we do our introductions. We say who we are, what makes us tick, what you enjoy, what you don't enjoy so much. Doesn't have to be in game. Can be what's your guys' fancy.
Cheese, you go first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you're the new guy.
Okay, my name's CoolCheese. I am NoiseTank's son. Known him for... Okay, that's besides the point. I'm a Titan main. I've been playing Titan ever since Destiny2 Year 1. And I've kind of played scrims throughout basically the entirety of Destiny. Been playing trials, and more recently been doing trials help every single weekend. And so
You're a brave
I guess
man.
kind of, yeah. it's a little mildly painful, but we have fun through it. But main things, I like to punch things. I like to suffer through trials. So, you know.
Right on.
Yeah.
All right. NoiseTank, what you got? Jordan, tell about yourself. Introduce yourself to the chat.
Yes, chat. Hello. I am the resident Chaos Reach Grandmaster Kai, whatever people say. I'm like the OG Chaos Reach dude, even though everybody's played Chaos Reach now. Yeah, I don't know. I like work a full-time job, play Destiny, and yeah, CoolCheese is my son. And yeah, I do scrims, PvP, playing tournaments. There hasn't really been too many tournaments recently that I've played, and I don't do trials because trials to me is pain, and Cheese is a very brave young man for doing that. So I would get way too tilted.
They just have better aim than cheaters. But...
Yeah, exactly. I'm too old to have better aim than them, so.
That's fair. I'm kind of hyped about this because we have a Trials Warlord and we have a Scrim player at the same time, so we kind of get the feel for both senses. You know what I mean? Makes it a lot more fun. That way we can kind of get perspectives of kind of the stricter rule sets of scrims and the pain that is trials. Of course. All right, let's dive into it. So obviously we have a Titan and a Warlock. Let's talk your guys' classes. What's your favorite subclass to run? And what do you like to pair with it?
I've been more recently playing a lot of Behemoth since it's kind of what you gotta do in the current sandbox, but still, I think Sentinel's still my roots. I've kind of been the bubble guy back in Destiny 1, and just playing around with suppressor grenades, and now more recently with builds both on my Behemoth and on my Sentinel with Hard and Most Light is probably one of the most fun things you can do in Destiny, in my opinion. If you don't know what Hard and Most Light is, whenever you pop one ability, your other abilities do more damage and recharge faster. And so on Stasis Titan, you get Twilight Garrison essentially, and then on Sentinel, you get one-hit stickies and one-hit suppressors every 10 seconds, which is pretty fun for sure. And
that's big brain.
Yep.
That sounds awful. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Cool.
Gotta do what you gotta do, baby.
Amen to that, man. All right, NoiseTank, what you got?
Yeah, so as I've already stated, I'm Chaos Reach boy. I probably 90% of the time use Thorn, but since like Beyond Light, since 120s have been so egregious and just, they're really good. I've been using like a 120 a lot with and running geomags because, getting supers fast is fun. But also, since people are already talking about it, I'll give the DL stuff. The Crown of Tempest has been like my off-stream exotic for quite a while. And nobody really knew about it, but you should try using that instead of geomags for your super, and that's all I'm going to say.
Why you got to throw that stuff out there?
Come on, bro. Come on.
Toxic.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Cube was already like, he like talked about it, and I was like, oh no. I was like, people know.
Yeah, no kidding. I saw Cube post that, and the minute I saw it, you were like, don't say anything. Don't say anything.
Yeah. I've been using it for like even before like Beyond Light came out, so.
I dig it. So, Jordan, let's start you off. When did you start playing Destiny? What brought you into it?
So I've been playing. I hate saying this because that's like the meme, the joke, but I've been playing Destiny since like the alpha of D1, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, I grew up like playing Halo, and I played like COD and all that stuff. So like naturally, I was excited for when Destiny was coming out, and I've been playing it for
exclamation point alarm.
Yeah, since the alpha, and
Down to the raffle. We're running some double carries right now, so
I don't know. It's been such a love-hate relationship because when D2 came out on console originally, like before PC, I was like, I hate this game. And then I got the PC version. It kind of revitalized my want to play the game for like a month, and then I fell off all the way until Warmind, and then that's when I finally I started playing like quite a lot more. But I've always played in the Scrim scene. I've always been a part of the Scrim scene since like way back. I played in like the OG, I think it was like the Inclement or Invigorate tournament that happened like 2 months after D1 came out. I've been playing it quite like at least at like a higher level, like for a while, I guess you could say. I don't know. I'm definitely not as good as Cheese or any of the more younger kids nowadays, but
dude, I feel that. The reflexes on these kids are insane.
Yeah, they're all crack gamers.
Cracked gamers. Cheese, what you got?
So I guess part of the background is that Destiny 1 was actually my first FPS ever. I actually didn't start gaming until what had to have been, I guess Destiny 1 came out in 2013, right? So I started gaming in 2012, and that's when I was 10? I don't know. But I started playing Destiny when I was really young. That's the point, I guess. I started it right after launch, kind of around November, and I've kind of just been grinding ever since then. It's kind of gotten me to fall in love with shooters, and it's definitely, even though there's a whole meme about like, Destiny kids and their aim and whatnot, Destiny's kind of been the avenue to open, like, to get me to play games like Halo, to play like Apex, Valorant even, and it's kind of been my kind of start to competitive play, I guess, because I have played in tournaments since Taken King, and I was at the one and only Destiny 2 PvP LAN tourney, so that was kind of cool. But
that's pretty cool. That's a nice little flex.
Yeah, the one and only. But yeah, this is my first FPS, and I've kind of just been rolling with the punches ever since, really. Yeah.
Hell yeah. I dig it. So obviously Destiny's been going for a while. Is it your main game? Do you play in other games? Like, what keeps you up busy?
For me, Destiny definitely is my main game. However, I definitely am playing a lot more of other games with the current state of everything. I still love Trials, and Trials is kind of probably the main reason I stick with Destiny. Regardless of the state of it, I still manage to have fun while playing the game mode. It also helps that my favorite exotic and favorite like item of all time in any game, Hawkmoon, came back. But you know, I just like shooting people, and Trials is kind of that pinnacle where people care enough, but not to the amount that they care like in a tournament. It's that perfect mix of casual and competitive, and that's kind of what I love about Destiny specifically. It's not like super hardcore like Valorant, but it's also not like super casual like I don't know, Animal Crossing, for example. I don't know, just
Right.
something like that. And so I think that's kind of where I've fallen in love with Destiny, is just that mix where I can have a kind of competitive side, but still keep it rooted, keep it grounded, and a not so not like just the good middle ground, I guess. It's just the right sauce. Not too mild, not too spicy.
Yeah, absolutely. Jordan, what you got?
I mean, recently I've been playing a lot of other things just because I've needed like a long break from this game. I don't know. It's been in like a weird spot for me. The only time like I really enjoy the game right now is if I'm doing like pickups or scrims. And like I've been playing a little bit of Apex, a little bit of Master Chief Collection, a lot of Star Wars Battlefront because that's pretty fun right now. But I actually way back in the I think it was when D1, like during all the D1 slow droughts, I was actually playing like Gears of War competitively. So like,
okay,
I usually just go back to Gears if like Destiny is in a shitty spot.
Hey, I respect it. Do they have Gears on PC?
Yes, and it's amazing, and it has a skill gap, and it's so good. I love Gears.
Interesting. I might have to look into that for
It's
sure.
good.
All right, let's start getting into the nitty gritties. So, Jordan, I had you on before, I think 2 seasons ago now. So we've had a lot of changes since then. What are you running for your loadouts now? Let's talk loadouts. What's your go-tos? Same with you as well, of course, Cheese.
Yeah, I just run Thorn Felwinners. I mean, if I'm playing like quick play, I'll do like either a 120 or Thorn Felwinners, and then I use Temptation's Hook because it kind of goes along with the, I don't know, the meme that is my build, just all arc everything. And I just run T-Steps and then hot swap to Geomags because I'm toxic. But in scrims, I run T-Steps, Thorn, and a shotgun. And then if 120s are allowed, then usually I'll run 120. It kind of depends on the map. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And of course, Chaos Reach.
Yeah,
Always
of course.
Chaos Reach.
So, do you feel any difference with Thorn? Like, does it feel better? Does it feel different? Like,
yeah, I hated it at first, and it took me a while to like get used to because it has like a new recoil pattern because of the RPM change. And I mean, I definitely miss 150 Thorn more. And Cheese and I it's not Thorn anymore, it's called Thrawn now. That's like the meme. Yeah, but I mean, I like it now. I think it's still, I thought originally they had like nerfed it where you could have lower resilience to get the 2-tap and the 2 head 1 body, but it's still 6 apparently because of rounding or something. I don't know.
because of rounding,
Yeah, good old Destiny numbers. It's still really good though. I don't know. Thorn's just always been my favorite gun.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I had a feeling you were still running it, but I was curious to see if you had dabbled into some of the other stuff.
I've used a lot. I have a really cracked steady hand, and I mean, I hate 120s. They're like kind of boring.
Right.
But it's sometimes like on certain maps, like you can see me using the clip now. Like it's with an Empowering Rift, it's dumb.
Oh, dude,
it's
so Empowering Rift, it's so brutal.
Yeah, it's just so stupid.
The taps are insane. All right, Cheese, what you got? Tell me.
I think the only thing consistent with my loadout is Hawkman.
Okay.
I play basically every single subclass on Titan. I go between One-Eyed Mask, Heart of Inmost Light, Dune Marchers, and Titans. Felwinter's adored. Even the Glacio class infusion rifle. Just basically, Hawkmoon is my bread and butter, and I just love that gun. I'm very impressed with how they brought it back, because I kind of thought that they were going to like butcher the identity of the weapon.
Yeah, same.
But that was definitely not the case. In fact, I think I actually like D2 Hawkmoon more than D1 Hawkmoon. I think that might be mildly controversial, but
I take it. I respect it. All right, dive into it a little bit more. What's up?
So the main thing that I love about current Hawkmoon is it's kind of like the sickness factor, right? It's not necessarily, is it better than Thorn or Ace when it comes to 140s? I don't think so. But is it sick? Yeah, it's just like the style department is what it does very well as just being an extremely consistent weapon. It essentially just sacrifices having a flashy or like super effective perks like Momentum Mori or Third Eye on Ace, or just having Soul Devour, and just the burn in general on Thorn, for having juiced up stats but requiring you to hit the head, which is also part of the low magazine size, right?
Right.
Basically, if you're a good player, it makes you even better. If you're a bad player, you can't use the weapon, and I really like that.
Okay. So, are you still rocking the OG roll, or did you? You farmed. Which one did you go with?
So, I have ran that mission 69 times, and
Nice.
yes, yeah, and on the 69th run, which you can check my emblem, it is on the 69th run. I got my perfect rangefinder one, which is what I've been rocking with. Hammer Forged Rifling, Rangefinder, and I think it's Grip, which is very, very, very good. It's one of the few 140s that I think actually combat the 120 meta, and as my biggest frustration using Hawkmoon for the past couple of weeks, now going into this past weekend, it was very refreshing, and it was a breath of fresh air, to say the least. Having a 140 that could compete was nice.
Dude, I dig it. I have not, unfortunately, as much as I hate to admit it, I have not gotten the Hawkmoon yet. I need to. I really do. I think it's a lot of fun. I would I definitely want to pick it up at the very least, just to say I have it and test it. But I'm mostly I'm stuck on either my Dire or my Criminal's Dagger. Those are my two go-tos.
I feel it. It's definitely hard to get over that Icarus, for sure.
Well, not only that, but the Criminals that I have has, I'm going to say it's rangefinder and explosive payload. It's disgusting. I send people to the moon.
Yeah, this does not sound like a good time, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah. Oh,
it's like
God.
accurized rangefinder and explosive, and it bounces people's reticles like across the map. It's disgusting. It's kind of fun just to run around with. But if I'm doing something like scrims, I'll usually run my Dire or something like that. Cool.
I have like 4 God Roll Dires and I just don't use them.
That's crazy. I love it, dude. I have... God, I need to think of what I have. I can look, actually, so I'm not lying to you. Let me see what my Dire has. So my Dire that I'm running right now that I have not taken off since is Ricochet, Snapshot, and Rangefinder.
Yeah, it's
With-
gross.
Yeah,
it's
with
good.
a steady hand sight. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's so sticky. I am a big fan. Cool. Let's keep going through it. So, obviously, Cheese, you played Trials last weekend. How was it? How was the ecosystem? I think it was the lowest numbered Trials we've had so far.
Yeah, I don't know. Last weekend was definitely rough. But the thing is, right, I think for the most part, Exodus Blue is actually a pretty good map compared to what we've been getting. So for context, for the past couple of weeks, we've had Dead Cliffs, and then we had that into Pacifica, and then into Exodus Blue. Even though we're getting lower population numbers, playing on Exodus is actually really nice. And it was actually a really nice change of pace. Now, on the beginning of the weekend when we were playing on Fragment, not so much. But I think Exodus kind of gives a really good avenue to combat things like Stasis, combat 120s, and is just a very good... I think it's a good overall map besides its flaws, because it has the box, the
Yep.
shoot through box, and some other things. But I actually managed to get a couple double carries done this past weekend, and even though it definitely was low population, I think this is probably it's just gonna keep on getting lower, right? And so my mindset
hope
when it comes to
not.
trials, when it comes to carries, is just to keep your head up and just deal with it, right?
Right.
It'll get better in 2 weeks.
We hope.
Please, new weapons.
We hope.
I know we're getting new armor. I don't know if we're getting new weapons yet, right? Is that the season after?
New weapons,
Season
armor,
14?
and accessories. Season 13.
That's
Okay.
13? Oh, okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I guess I'll be
fucking go.
playing more trials.
Noise, what kept you out of trials this week? Other than obviously the pain.
Yeah, I mean, I have never. So, like, when trials first came out, I was like helping Cheese do carries for like the first 3 weeks, and then I think we made it to Widow's Core, and I was like, all right, man, I can't do this anymore. I get way too tilted playing like cheaters, and I just like can't like play like calm, cool, and collected against cheaters. It just drives me nuts.
That's fair.
I don't really like the elimination game type either. I think like it brings out all of the things, like it makes the things that are already like annoying or bad in Destiny, it just makes them worse because it's like 1 life per round, and the stakes are a little bit higher. So I don't know. It's too much for me. In D1, I used to do trials carries like a lot in D1. That's like mostly what I did, and I'm just a different person now. I can't do it anymore. I don't have the patience for it. I got my flawless title already. I have like a god roll. Like I have soul, and I have like a decent shoddy, so I don't really care that much. When they come with a hand cannon and new armor next season, I'll be playing because
180, you know.
Dude, if it's a 180, I swear to God, dude, the raid hand cannon was already 180.
180 hand cannon.
It better be a 140, I swear. If that's one of the 120s, I'm gonna be so sad.
I want a 120. Give me an energy 120. But we can get it.
I mean, we're gonna get 2 120s. They already said that, and I hope one is an energy. I just hope they're not the trials hand cannon.
Dude,
we need an energy 140 too, honestly. That
I
isn't
would fly into it, yeah.
Waking Vigil.
True. Very true. Well, they were bringing back Waking, and it's going to be obviously a 140.
Yeah.
So I think that might be the only good one, honestly, or the only one.
I don't think it's going to be good because the range. Yeah, Nature of the Beast. Yeah, I mean, Nature of the Beast is... Wait, is Ancient Gospel kinetic?
Ancient
or
Gospel is energy as well.
Energy, yeah. The problem with those is because like they don't have like the RNG to get them.
140 though. That's the thing. Because Dyer's last season. And
is it this season or season 13?
Is the last
season.
Last
Dude, we need new shotties. We need new everything. But that's just the problem with the game right now.
I have a God rolled Astral and a God rolled Eye of Soul, and I can't use them because I cannot find an energy weapon I like to pair with it. You guys have that same issue?
True.
Yep. Yeah, I've never really liked Sunshot, to be honest. I've like tried, and it just feels weird. I think it's the low aim assist value on it is probably why I don't like it, but
I loved it in year 1, but with like the power creep that's been ever since Forsaken, weapons are just getting easier and easier to use. Sunshot kind of falls out of place because on average weapons are a lot easier to use. Modern weapons are compared to the past, and Sunshot never really caught up.
Agreed.
True. That's very true. Very true. All right. So what? Obviously, trials is a hot topic, and we are 2 weeks out. What do you hope to see with next season's trials? If you could walk into Bungie tomorrow and be like, "Hey, this is what I want to see from trials," pick one thing, like the strongest thing you can think of. That would get people to play.
Okay. I've been thinking about this question for a while. I guess it's kind of what I do think about a lot, right?
Right.
So first and foremost, that the 100% thing that needs to happen is adept weapons have to drop from the flawless chest every single time. It's kind of stupid that that's not the fact. I was running some cards with my Encore friends, and for example, Hoplite, one of my clanmates, she's fantastic, but she's a PvE player, right? And so she doesn't have the ability to go flawless every single time. And we went flawless twice in around 3 hours, right? And the first time she got the fusion rifle, She's like, yo, it's sick. Second time she got armors. And that feels horrible. For a player like me, that doesn't necessarily matter. But for players that we need for the playlist to grow, they need to be able to have a guaranteed chance to get those more powerful weapons, whether it's an Astral, Exile's Curse, for example, the Scout Rifle, whatever it is, it needs to be a guaranteed adept drop. In addition, every single time you go flawless or even just run through trials, you need to have loot. So every single time you get 3 wins, you get the 3-win reward. Every single time you get 5, you get the 5. Every single time you get 7, you get the 7. And in doing so, you also need to make sure that the better rewards, for example, Astral Horizon, are at the top of the card. It doesn't really make sense that 1 week Astral Horizon is 3 and the next week Astral 7. And so Bungie needs to do a better job at giving us the loot, because they just need to pile more onto trials, so it's more incentivizing for more casual players, as well as making the better loot more reflective of how far you are in the card.
Okay, I like that. Jordan, what would bring you back into trials?
Honestly, I mean, for me, like, what would bring me back would just be, if we had a fucking anti-cheat, honestly.
I mean, I'm not gonna say I matched at least 2 cheaters this weekend and the one day I played, but yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, right? Like, I'll go I've gone like weeks without playing trials, and then I'll be like, you know what? Like, I'll play this week, and then I play 1 or 2 cards, and I play a cheater every single time, and it's like I don't know. I mean, the anti-cheat is like the cop-out one. Like, obviously, like, if we didn't have to deal with cheaters, then I think for me it would be like the D1 system, because I think the D1 system for trials, like the way it worked, was really well. Like, you could pick up bounties. There was a second set of armor that you got for just getting wins, and they could drop just from rounds, like or from games.
It was match completions, not wins. So even if you lost the game, you had a chance to get it.
Yeah, and those were right, and that was like different armor, so like that was cool, like having like a second armor set. And to be honest, like the second armor set was kind of fire for the Warlock, so like I remember playing a fuck ton of trials so I could get a really good rolled chest piece. So stuff like that, just having, like, for players who aren't, they're not top skilled players and they don't always get a chance to go flawless with, like a Sherpa or whatever, having like rewards throughout the entire card, having a secondary set of armor that you can get, or maybe like a couple extra weapons. They're not like, the adept, shotgun, or, the sniper, like Cheese was saying, like have all the actual like really good stuff, like for the people that go flawless and stuff like that. But like they need to be, like, there needs to be like a reason to have them. Like the adept weapons that we're getting right now, like I just don't care. Like I literally don't give 2 shits about them. Like, why am I gonna run an adept like range mod on my shotgun instead of like Icarus? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't know. It just rewards, I guess, would be the big
things
thing.
To chase and loot pools is kind of what that's narrowing down to for both of you.
Yeah.
Obviously an anti-cheat, but we're not even gonna take into that.
I mean, there's no reason to even talk about it, because that's what we all want.
Yep, exactly. That's the given across the board. All right, I'm gonna dive into a couple questions from chat. Lycan says, what do you think of retuning shotguns to make them more in line with their frame type, including drawbacks on certain frame types to counteract their potency? Things like pellet spread, much faster damage fall off, stuff like that. So like an aggressive frame obviously has a higher damage fall off. Precision frame has, a tighter spread, but it's tuned into it, and lightweights and things like that.
I guess how I think about it is I am still very much of the mindset that snipers are still the best special weapon in the game. Despite having a very, very slap on the wrist aim assist nerf, they're still, I think, the easiest to pick up in terms of playstyle. And within the world of Destiny, they're much easier to use at a high level than a shotgun is. And so, I'm not saying that shotguns aren't necessarily power creeps, but I think for the most part, the lethality and kind of utility of a shotgun is fine. It's more of the issue of the abundance of special ammo. Something that I've been throwing around pretty recently is that part of the issue, I think, is that you're not incentivized to use your primary in order to get special ammo, right? So for example, you load into a quick play match, you have your 2 shotgun shots, you kill someone, you get 2 more. You kill another person, you get 2 more. And you use 2 shotgun shots to get 4, right? What I would propose is instead of nerfing shotguns, nerfing snipers, nerfing fusion rifles, whatever, make it that the only way that you can get special ammo is by getting primary kills. And also, that being said, scavengers don't work. So you load into a match, you don't start with special ammo. You have to get a primary kill first, you get a brick, that's your shotgun, that's your sniper, that's your fusion, grenade launcher, whatever, right?
Okay.
And then that incentivizes A, for you to use your primary, which I think is what we all have come to love from PvP in this game. And then B, also, once you have that ammo, your special weapon doesn't feel like trash, right? Because I think something that people kind of miss is that if you nerf special weapons too hard, they kind of lose the magic of being them, right? We don't use shotguns or snipers or fusion rifles because they're particularly hard weapons to use. We use them to make ourselves and our characters feel powerful, right? And I think nerfing their effectiveness, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. Nerfing that kind of takes away from that fantasy that a lot of more casual players come to expect from a PvP environment. Whether or not that's balanced or not, it isn't, but it's what Destiny is, right?
Whether it's balanced or not, it isn't.
Yeah.
You know, that's actually a really good proposition. I don't know why, like, I've never heard of that before, but that's actually a really, really good proposition.
Yep,
like,
that's... Keep specials as potent as they are, but make it so you have to get primary kills in order to get it, and scavengers don't work in PvP.
That would be... that sounds like the change we need. Because if we go back to how, like, year 3 in D1, like, that was fucking awful. It was terrible. Yeah. Well, no. So, like, in the last year of Destiny 1, it was like you started with your 2 shots, and then that was it.
Yep.
You died, and then you didn't have any more ammo. Like, you just started the match off with that, and then the only way you could get more is if you, like, kill... I don't know. It was a really bad system. It didn't work. And then there was, like, yeah, like Lysis is saying, there was Icebreaker and Sidearms and No Land and just blah.
Yep. No Land. I'm a big No Land proponent. Yeah, the big one that I've heard a lot was remove scavs.
Yeah, I hate scavenger perks.
Remove scavs in PvP. Lycan's proposed a lot more of, like, range tuning to make it more like what a shotgun would be. Like a max cap of 10 meters on a precision frame only. You know what I mean? Like an aggressive frame, you have to be in their face to do the one-shot cleanup. Things like that. He asks that question every single time from the guests, and it's kind of cool to hear the different answers from each person.
I guess just how I see it, shotguns... The thing is, I think if you ask any, like, top-level player, and I'm not saying necessarily that I am one, but, like, if you ask, let's say Panda, let's say Walla, right? People who are at that level for being the best player in the world, right? I think no matter what weapon they're using, they'll say Destiny is easy to aim, right?
Sure.
And so, it's not like shotguns or snipers or fusion rifles are innately harder. But the thing is, shotguns innately require you to use movement, which is the skill gap in this game. So if anything, they still require, like, if you think sniper is a pure aiming weapon, there's a level of positioning, there's a level of game sense, but the majority of the skill with that weapon is aiming, and in a game that is easy to aim, it's going to be an easy option. The thing is, shotguns have that level where it is frustrating to die to. Some bad players can kill you every once in a while, but if you're playing great player versus great player, it's a lot harder for you to consistently get the kill. And so I think shotguns, as they are, have a very good way of promoting a skill gap. However, I do once again agree that the rapid fire frame shotguns and the precision frame shotguns don't really have a place in the current sandbox. But I think that's kind of more... It's not necessarily aggressives or lightweights being too inherently strong. It's more so them just introducing too many archetypes into Destiny.
True.
And I think Bungie is starting with Sunsetting to kind of fine-tune those, or I hope they are at least.
Yeah, I mean, we can hope anyway. I mean, I've had a lot of top tier players on here every week. Last week we had DeFizzle. The week before we had Sep and Hardcore. We've had Kami on here. We've had Boy. And they've always said to just get rid of the scabs. So it was kind of nice to hear a more in-depth thought, I guess I would go with.
Yeah. Well, it's like how I think about it is that even if you remove scabs, that doesn't fix the problem that you can use your shotgun the entire game. You just can't miss. And I mean,
True.
yes, you will miss eventually, but in a game that once again is super easy to aim in, realistically, you're gonna not miss more than you are. And so you're gonna get a shotgun kill. And since you spawn in with 2 bullets, right, you still can miss. And then you get a kill, more green. Get a kill, more green. Get a kill, more green. And then it just keeps on going, keeps on going. And I think there needs to be more of an incentive to use your primary. Not just special weapons not being as good. Primaries just have to be better. Whether that means allowing you to use your special weapons or just an overall buff to primaries. Something needs to change with regards to the relationships between both of those 2 weapons, and I think just having primaries be the only thing that can spawn green is probably the easiest and best solution.
I like that, actually. And I mean, it's doable. It's like just how it was back in D1 where, you know, they have those match perks where you can only get weapon ammo for the weapon you're not using. I think that's fair to implement. I really do.
Yeah, especially like if you run 0 scabs right now, you get 1 special. If you run 1, you get 2 shots, and then if you run double scab, you get 3 shots. So it's like, I mean, just like he's saying, 1 shotgun kill equals 3 ammo if you're running double shotgun scab, and same thing with sniper. And then, I mean, if you're a good team and you're rotating properly and like you guys are team shotting and stuff, then like you're picking up ammo. Next thing you know, you have like 18 shots of shotgun, and it's like, okay.
Right.
And the thing with or sniper, but the thing is though, I think like I see like a lot of people are saying like in the mid tiers, that's the thing about shotguns, right? And is that they have like in the lower tiers of players, like in the lower skill gap, right? Anybody can get a shotgun kill easily. But in the higher tiered players or like in the higher tier lobbies, it's like it's more like you'll see a lot more like 1 tap to the body or 1 tap to the head with a hand cannon and then like a quick swap to a shotty.
Yep.
Or, you know, like movement and getting shotgun kills. You don't see it as much because it's more movement and positioning in the higher tier.
Yeah, the shotgun's
and like
clean up, not a end all.
Yeah, I mean personally, like I don't really feel like shotguns are too crazy right now, but like also Fellwinners is like the only like viable shotty, and I see a lot of people saying like, oh, like run Seraph or whatever, and Seraph is good, but it's not as good as Fellwinners.
Oh, I love my 7 Seraph. That's my go-to. Just for the movement buff is really what I keep it for.
Yeah, I think like, you know, having other shotties, you know, be, you know, good again. I mean, we're getting retold tail back, and that's a precision, and you can get quick draw slide shot on it, so that's like ideal because we don't have a quick draw slide shot shotty anymore. I don't think that's not Sunset, so it's like that would be nice, but it's not going to be as good as Fellwinners because precisions are in like a really crappy spot right now.
True, very true. All right, let me scroll back a little bit. Faith says, what's your opinion on the weapon perks they've given us recently? Which is great to roll off of the scab conversation. I feel like celerity, one for all, etc. aren't really worth using. I know we're losing problematic perks, but I'm worried it's going to bring back a slower pace. What are your thoughts?
I think it's the whole how I think about it is like it's frustrating to die to like I think let's say Ace for example, right? Since Ace essentially has giga kill clip, right? Just a kill clip on the roids. And so I think honestly these more lackluster perks make perk choosing a lot more interesting, right? Because the thing is, if you have 4 different like more lackluster perks, that makes that weapon more niche. It makes it more interesting which one you choose, which one you value. In addition, like if you have something like kill clip, you have something like rangefinder, you kind of just do it, you know what I mean? Like there's no reason not to use rangefinder, there's no reason not to use kill clip. They're just best in slots when it comes to damage and range. 5-0ing them, then it doesn't matter. So I think rotating those out is good, and also it's kind of like, damn, that guy just killed me because he had kill clip or because he had rangefinder and I didn't. And I think rotating out those perks with more lackluster ones is very good for the opposing side, and it doesn't necessarily affect me as the user nearly as much, right? Like the thing is, if I have opening shot versus rangefinder, opening shot is less oppressive and a little bit more interesting as a choice in my opinion.
Okay.
But it's not like the other player's not going to say, damn, I just died because of opening shot. Whereas rangefinder, you feasibly can get out 3-tapped by even a Hawkmoon, for example, because they have rangefinder and you don't.
Sure, absolutely.
So I just think it kind of just levels the playing field for people who aren't using those powerful perks. So I think overall it's actually a good thing.
I love it. I dig it. Jordan, what you got to add?
I half agree.
Okay.
I just don't want it to go back to, again, D1, where we have like 50 shitty perks that nobody uses, and then every gun has like 20 different perks you can get, and then getting that, like, the role that you want is next to impossible. And that's like why, you know, yeah, I literally never got the God roll IS Luna, never to this day. And I just, dude, and that's the thing, right? Like, this is kind of a little bit off topic for just a second, but like having something to chase in the Crucible would be very nice.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we'll get into that. That's on my question for hot topics for school.
Yeah, but I do think, dude, like surplus, like I think surplus is like a great perk. Like that perk is really underrated. And then same thing with like, what is it? There's another one that's Wellspring. That's just like another like demolitionist. Like that's really cool. I think we've gotten like some pretty decent perks, like how Cheese said, that opens up like a bigger category of like. Yeah, what?
Killing wind.
Yeah, killing wind. Yeah,
killing
exactly.
wind.
Like those. There's a bunch of new perks I think that are really interesting and add like a different layer.
It's like the difference. How I think about it, I have two examples. It's like choosing opening shot or killing wind versus rangefinder. Rangefinder beats both of those, but choosing opening shot or killing wind is far more interesting, even though they both accomplish a very similar thing. Same thing with, let's say, threat detector versus surplus, and then there's quick draw. If quick draw is in the pool, you're gonna get quick draw. But it doesn't mean, but choosing between surplus and threat detector is far more interesting to your playstyle and who you are as a player.
Hell yeah. I think we just lost Cheese. I don't know what happened.
Oh, I'm here.
You were like halfway talking and then you just faded.
Yeah, no, I have my cat's on my lap, and so he's trying to bite the mic and shit, so.
Gotcha. That would do it. I lost my train of thought because that was just a normal sentence. You know, my cat's on my lap trying to bite my mic. It's fine. We're fine. Everything's fine.
Yeah, he kind of just does that.
Dante.
All right, so let's bring it back in real quick, and this is one of my favorites, especially with the new season coming up. What do you think it would take to bring PvE players back to PvP?
I think loot-wise, the systems that are being added to resetting your rank is enough for loot incentive. For PvE players, for PvP players, there's definitely something that could still be desired. In terms of, like, since we were just talking about IS Luna, right? Things like that is definitely very important. But I think that the idea of getting your masterwork materials from PvP, like a Valor reset, is very nice. If anything, I think that they're holding back a little too much, like only getting one Ascendant shard per Valor reset per season. Like, come on, at least give us 2, 3, like, or something, right? Or even just letting us reset it infinite times. Additionally, adding exotics to PvP is something that's fantastic. That's one of the things that I've been confused about for a long time, is the end game for Destiny right now, PvE-wise, is getting exotics. It's getting those Dune Marchers T-steps for Noise that took them 18 years.
Oh my god, dude.
And whatever it is, right? It's grinding exotics that with high stats with the exact role. And so having that numerous ways to do that in PvE, but having basically no guaranteed ways in PvP was a big mistake. However, right? Every time you hit Legend now, exotic engram. On those triple Valor weekends, PvE players are gonna flood into PvP to get a chance at that. And I think that's fantastic. However, that being said, I think that the main thing that's keeping those PvE players away is the player experience, right? I think that things like Stasis, 120s, are more focused at kind of just bullshit, right? And I mean, special weapons, I think, are in the same category when it comes to those things. And the entirety of PvP isn't made for a mode that you can relax in. So there's that audience that's alienated. It's not a competitive mode. That audience is alienated. It's not like a party mode. That audience is alienated. Then who do you have left, right? Destiny, I think the biggest thing that Bungie and Destiny as a franchise needs to figure out is its identity for what it wants from PvP. Whether that is strictly a party experience, great, but they're not. Or even if it's just a strictly casual experience, that would be fantastic. But they need to make sure they define that more thoroughly so they can balance accordingly. If they want it to be just chaos, then things like, let's say, Stasis are fine, but 120s are not, right? If they want it to be a party mode, then Stasis maybe not so much, but special weapons, yes, right? There's different ways that you balance it based on what you're trying to achieve. And I think that they need to figure out that so that more people, whether it's PvEers, PvPers, can just enjoy playing the game. And that's the biggest issue, in my opinion.
Okay. I dig it. I like that. Jordan, what you got to add?
What was the question one more time?
You're getting distracted by Kama asking if you had OnlyFans. We make that joke, but the only time that everyone's ever posted an OnlyFans in stream, because at the end of stream, or at the end of the chatting portion, I have you guys obviously share all your socials so everyone can follow. The only time that we've gotten an OnlyFans was from one person. And you're not going to believe it. It was Nighthawk.
Wait.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes sense.
I wish I could say I was kidding. Nighthawk has an OnlyFans.
That doesn't surprise me.
We opened it up on stream and it is glorious. He earned a command in my stream just for Nighthawk's OnlyFans.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that does not surprise me in one bit.
It's only got one picture, and it's definitely safe for work, but it's stellar. I laughed so hard, it was worth it. The question though was, what would it take to bring PvE players back to PvP? Like, what would incentivize them to come back and play?
Yeah, I mean, I think the things that we're getting next season, just like the rewards, right, is definitely going to be one thing. I think player population is like a really big thing, right? Because PvE players, they only come in normally during like Iron Banner or like to play trials, right? They want like incentives. I think if Iron Banner gets a revamp, right, gets more new weapons and new armor, that's a good thing. But then also having like things to like chase after that are like good to use in PvE as well.
Okay.
So like right now we only have like Stars and Shadow, and that's more of like a PvP weapon. And like in D1, we had like IS Luna, Matador 64, Party Crasher, like all that stuff. Like those are all PvP weapons. And like a lot of us are like farming PvE for like PvP weapons, like we don't really have a lot of PvP weapons to like chase in PvP. So I think if there was like a weapon, obviously like Mountaintop was, and Gnawing Hunger, but like you can get Gnawing Hunger wherever. And then Mountaintop was like one of the only PvE weapons, and then Recluse, right? But if there was a couple weapons that were like, you could get like, I don't know, let's say a grenade launcher or something, like a wave frame grenade launcher from PvP only. Right, but it would just be random drop from playing quick play or whatever, or you could do like how Shax has his weekly bounties, right? Like you play your 5 games or whatever, you get a couple super kills on his weekly bounty, and then it drops one of those like 5 new PvP weapons, right? And then that gives like PvE players a chance to just like play a couple matches or whatever, and then they can get like a drop from a bounty or something. Like there needs like, we used to have all that in D1. Like I say this like a lot, but like D1 has come so far all the way to year 3,
Cypher's
like in the way like we acquired loot, and then when D2 came out, it's just like we took like 20 steps back, and there's like no reason for them to play quick play, like or comp for that matter either. Like comp is worthless. There's literally no reason besides the power grind in the first like week of the season, and that's the only time we see people.
True.
We just need loot and things. There just needs to be things.
Loot. Hey,
Yeah.
I think that applies everywhere. On that thread, so when we had the Fizzle on last week, he made a comment about farming for palindrome, and he actually made a topic that I wasn't expecting. He said that items should be world drops. So things like palindrome, things like IS Luna should be dropped in any activity. Do you guys agree? Do you disagree? Like what?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. When it comes to weapons in general, like when it comes to those weapons that are super effective within PvP, right? Or even the other way around. It's like there should be options for me as a PvP player to just play Rumble, play Trials, whatever it is, and getting that, let's say Stars and Shadow, which Stars and Shadow isn't like a fantastic PvE weapon, though, or I think Ikelos SMG is a better example, right? I should be able to get those weapons so that I can play part of the game that I enjoy in order to make it a little bit easier when I'm slogging through the other part, right? And in the same way, it should be the same thing for PvEers, right? So for example, right now, what is a weapon in the world loot pool that is extremely dominant in PvP right now? Because there isn't one. Dire Promise maybe, but like, are you really going to use that over a 120? Are you going to use that over Ace? Are you going to use like? There isn't really anything that is a best in slot, or at least competitive with a best in slot, right? I think if you go back to Destiny 1, for example, right? You had things. You had the Imago Loop. You had IS Luna. You had Palindrome. There was so many 140s legendaries in Destiny 1, right? And they came from all sources in the game. And having those things is very important because, yes, is an Imago Loop as good as an IS Luna? No. But can you compete and can you consistently beat IS Luna users with an Imago? Yes. And there needs to be more of that in the game. Okay. Not saying to bring everything, like, for example, Mindbenders, right? A strike exclusive weapon into the world pool, but having something that competes with Mindbenders, competes with Felwinters, that isn't 7th Seraph. Because realistically, I personally am of the opinion that 7th Seraph is actually very close to the same level of efficacy. I can't say that word.
Efficacy, I got it.
That one, yeah. I think it's just as effective as Felwinters. If not, Felwinters is a little bit better, but they're two different archetypes. They serve two different purposes, right? And so you can't compare a 7th Seraph to a Felwinters, right? We need to have a 55 RPM shotgun in that pool. We need to have a lightweight in that pool. We only have one of those right now.
True.
And so having at least member of every archetype represented within the world loot pool is very important for the health of both sides of the game.
Okay. Jordan, you got anything to add? How do you feel about it? Do you think that everything should be world drops, obviously with the exception of strike specifics? Or do you think that Palindrome should be a farmed only in Grandmaster Nightfalls type thing?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely I just want to play PvP, obviously, and PvE players just want to play PvE. So, I mean, I get that. And I think that's where we're kind of going with them bringing back Umbral Engrams and stuff like that. The only thing is I don't know. I feel like they know, right? Okay, so Palindrome is obvious. It was the D1 Crucible hand cannon. Why would they put that in a Grandmaster? The Swarm and whatever else, and Shadow Price, sure, that's fine. But why would you put a hand cannon when clearly most of your player base uses hand cannons in PvP? I just don't understand.
Do you think that they do it for trying to get people in different
Yeah,
Game
it's
modes,
definitely
obviously?
the case. Yeah, I mean that's definitely the case. And obviously, like since they don't like particularly care about PvP right now, like they're not like doing that for PvP, which is kind of annoying. But I don't know. I feel like I like and hate it. I definitely would like. I would wish like Palindrome would just be a world drop because then I could just play whatever and then get it. You know, just like we all got
Mhm.
a million gnawing hungers in Season of Arrivals from playing whatever.
Yep.
I think the Grandmasters just need to go like the strike specific loot, but like make it like themed, right? Like don't put Palindrome in there. Put like a if you're gonna put a hand cannon there, make it like a Scarlet Keep hand cannon, right? Like it's all Hive themed like hand cannon with
Okay.
like maybe like a special perk on it or something, right? Like make that. Yeah, I would farm that for the Grandmaster because it's aesthetically based around that activity, right?
different.
Like, yeah,
Ornament.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, except look what they did with Adored. It's like they don't
What do you mean?
they
You can
don't have
you can get a different scarf on your beloved depending on which activity you play.
I just
I honestly feel like the bigger issue isn't that Palindrome's coming to the ordeal. It's just that they haven't confirmed if a 140 is going to be in trials, right?
exactly. No,
Right.
exactly.
The
Like
thing is, I think there should be a 140 in like that one. Let's say I think Astral Horizon, perfect example, right? For every Astral Horizon in PvP, there needs to be an Astral Horizon in PvE. I guess that's kind of where I'm more going at with what I was saying. Not necessarily. I think I would actually disagree. Actually, take that back with the world drop thing. I think there should just be equal options within both aspects of the game, and currently we don't have that, right? If you want a 120, you do Iron Banner, but if you want to compete in PvP, you need a 120. How do you get that 120 to compete in PvP? PvP.
Yep.
Wait a second. Something ain't adding up here. I think that's the bigger issue,
I like it.
honestly.
I like the way you think. All right. Faith asked, opinions on recycled loot. Kind of frustrating that we got Trials gear from Destiny 1, and now we're getting Forsaken Shadowkeep gear with no new gear. That's questionable. They haven't announced it yet. Right now, they've only told us the stuff that we do know, but they always surprise us with stuff too. So, I'm
I
definitely
actually have
curious
a
to see what you guys
very
thought.
yeah, I have a very strong. So here's the thing, right? The Trials 1 armor is sick, right? But what they should have did is exactly what I said earlier. They should have made a new armor set that you got from hitting 3 wins, 5 wins, and flawless, right? And then made like just for playing and completing matches, random drops of the D1 Trials armor. Like that would have been perfect.
That would have been dope.
And that's like what I've been saying about Iron Banner though. It's like there's literally no reason to play Iron Banner unless you're doing Pinnacles, and it's like, but that's I don't know. It's just so stupid. They need like I am totally fine with them bringing back D1 stuff. Like if they don't have the development time or the resources of the people, like they've been saying, to make us a ton of new shit, right? Then don't bring back D2 stuff that we've been using. Bring back the D1 stuff. At least that's like 5+ years old at this point, right? And they can bring stuff back from year 1 D1. And I'm okay with that. Like I'm okay with them bringing back like a set, you know, like a D1 set of Iron Banner armor and then the weapons. Like if they're not going to give us new stuff and they're just going to keep recycling the D2 stuff, I would totally rather take that. But personally, I think having it like you get the new stuff by completing like bounties and whatever, and then you can get the old stuff as drops, like you know, older like revised armor as drops, right? I don't know. It just more incentive, more loot is like it's just what we need. And I feel like yeah, I don't know. I'm tired. To me personally, like I said, year 1 of D2, like all the weapons felt like shit. I hated all the weapons. Like every like True Prophecy, Better Devil, Steady Hand, like they're all the same looking hand cannon, right? Like if you're gonna give us old shit, just give us D1 old shit because at least it looked cooler and it's been a lot longer, you know, like
I want my
and I
back.
think yeah, I don't know. I would just rather that, like if they're not going to make us new shit, then just give us D1 shit. That's what I would personally rather have. Especially since there's a lot more D2 players that have never played D1. So for them, those would be new weapons, and then they'd get the nostalgia factor too. So
See, that's that right there. That is my point. Everyone's like, does the recycled loot argument, right? They're like, oh, they're bringing back recycled content. They're bringing back recycled loot. They're bringing back recycled. There are people who just picked up this game in the last year, last season. Shit, last week.
Nice shot.
Why does your stream keep unmuting? Jeez,
7.
holy shit.
6.
That's like the 6th time it's done that. I don't know why it keeps unmuting.
Wait, what?
Oh, I have your VOD playing, and it's literally keeps unmuting. I don't understand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, half the time it fits because you're talking in the middle of it, but every once in a while it's like silent, or I'm talking, and all of a sudden it's like you doing a Rumble match, or you playing Trials, or and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Tangent, focus, jeez. Recycled content.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So, one, I think the whole, since this is stemming off of the dungeon stuff, right? The Dreaming City and the Moon stuff, I think, I don't think they were envisioning even going into, like, okay, so they announced that, what, like 2 weeks ago?
Yep.
I don't think 2 weeks before the TWAB they were envisioning reintroducing those weapons. I really don't. I think those were just a kind of a way to introduce more value into those destinations. And to be fair, something like Waking Vigil, did Waking Vigil really have a chance to shine? Ever? Was it really good? Yes. Did people like using it? But even in a world where like Astro Horizon with Waking Vigil last season, was that better than Dire with Founders? No. Was it better than like the other options? And so with certain with those weapons, I think it's kind of their chance to have a limelight, which, I mean, Retold is a little different, but everything else, I think it's an opportunity for them to have a limelight. And if anything, I think it is literally just additional content to what they were actually planning for Season 13. We're getting all new Trials armor that is not reskinned. They said it is not reskinned 100%.
Okay.
Trials armor, Trials weapons. I assume that means, and we also have the new season weapons, the new season armor that we're going to be getting. And I think personally, as much as I don't like D2 weapons, I don't mind them recycling them. Because the thing is, for me, a weapon with new perks, new stats, is a new weapon. I don't care if it's Better Devils reskin for the 18th time, or if it's Palindrome reskin for the 18th time, because there was a lot of Palindrome reskins within Destiny 1 as well, right? And Destiny 1 had a very similar problem, it's just that it's been a while since then, so we kind of forget that. I don't care what the weapon is, what it looks like, as long as it's different, right? If they're reintroducing Dire Promise again, right, that's an issue. But if they're introducing a 140 RPM hand cannon that has high range, low aim assist, relatively high like stability, right? That's built kind of like an Austringer more so than a Dire Promise. That isn't a Dire Promise, even though it looks the same. Thing is,
I would love to get an Austringer back.
Yeah, and I mean, I really don't care what, like, to me, even if the new Astro or the new Retold Tale, right, has new perks, that's a new weapon to me, right? And as much as I would prefer 100% be getting even if it is Destiny 1 models, new models into Destiny 2 to make things look new, to make them look fresh, it doesn't really bother me either way. Like, I'm a very feel-based player, and if a weapon feels unique, then it's a new weapon. If it has new perks, it's a new weapon, right? And so I don't really mind recycled content, because, especially within this example, it wasn't planned to be recycled. If anything, I think their plan was to never reintroduce Dreaming City or the Moon stuff ever, but then people wanted a reason to go there, so they're like, okay, we'll just sneak this into Season 13 real quick. And so I think, if anything, new weapons, good, even if it is lazy. It is what it is. We have now 8 new weapons that we wouldn't have had otherwise, that didn't really get a chance to shine when they were out originally anyway.
But do you think that makes up for the amount of weapons that are getting sunset, though?
No, but the thing is, that's not Beyond Light, though. The thing is, going from 500... If we look at Beyond Light, right, how many weapons got sunset? 500 or so, close to that, right?
Yep.
The thing is, if we go to Season 13, how many weapons are getting sunset? Like, what, 20, 30? somewhere around there, right?
Yeah.
And we are getting Trials armor and weapons, which aren't considered the seasonal stuff. And even if we just look at the seasonal stuff from this next season, that's going to be like 15, 20 weapons alone, in addition to Trials, and now with an additional 8. We're getting the same, if not more, weapons back into the pool this season, going from season 12 into season 13.
All right, I like that actually. I'm really appreciating your positive outlook on all this. I gotta tell you, I really am.
Yeah, I mean,
Jordan, you're just here.
The thing is, I really do enjoy Destiny right now. It's not in the greatest place, and I just think it's kind of, we're going into a transition phase in the same way that Destiny 2 launch was a transition phase. This is too. In the same way Forsaken was, this is too. But Forsaken, definitely people felt a lot better just because of their negative sentiment towards Destiny 2 Year 1. In order to get to a Forsaken, we have to have a Destiny 2 Year 1. In order to have a Taken King, you have to have a Destiny 1 launch.
Oh,
it's
God.
kind of Bungie always.
House of Wolves.
But like, you can't
I
have
missed
that
it.
shock. Like, you can't have that level of excitement without experiencing the lowest of the lows.
True.
Which, it sucks that we have to do that, right? Preferably Bungie would just be great all the time. But they've kind of shown that that's just not who they are. They kind of work in like waves, I guess. And so,
I mean, it makes
even
it
though
definitely
I'm
makes you
trying to,
appreciate it more,
I
for
am coming
sure.
off as optimistic, I think season 13 is actually going to be fantastic. I could be completely
Okay.
wrong, but judging by the pattern, it's going to be fantastic. But am I also, if Titanfall 3 comes out, am I not going to play Destiny anymore? Probably, right? The thing
Dude,
is,
if Titanfall. Oh my god.
Oh
Yeah.
God, if Titanfall 3 came out.
like I don't necessarily see myself having a much longer future within this game, but at the same time, I think there's still gonna be some. It's not like this is the worst. This is probably the worst of the worst right now. Next season will be good, and then it's gonna be the worst of the worst in season 14. It's gonna keep on going back and forth, and so there's still gonna be moments of Destiny where I'm like, yes, I fucking love this game, and there's gonna be moments like Destiny 2, pain.
Right.
And it just
Pain.
happens. That's this
Pain.
game, right? That's just how I think about it, I guess.
Jordan, you got anything to add?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I was just gonna say is I think somebody also asked about like the Dreaming City stuff and all that. Like, I definitely I don't know. It's just pain that their like fix is like, yeah, we're gonna bring back Dreaming City and moon weapons, and it's like, stop, just stop. I farmed so much for Awakening Vigil to get like the slide shot opening shot roll. I never got it, and then like I don't know. I had like a different one that was like the snapshot opening, and it's just like I just don't want to grind for that shit again, man.
I mean,
Right.
to be fair though, where did we grind that though? In Menagerie.
In Menagerie, yeah.
And the thing
Menagerie
is,
was the
like,
shit for grinding.
but like, the thing is, how many times have we ran Shattered Throne versus Menagerie? And
That's
then
what I'm saying.
But
Like,
also, if Shattered Throne is repeatable, right? We actually have a reason to fully explore that, even though I know me, I have not really touched that, even when it was in its quote-unquote prime. Like, Shattered
Yeah.
Throne was just there. I played it, like, maybe in the double digits instead of, like, as a main activity. Like, even last season's dungeon, I've played probably hundreds of times now.
yeah.
Yep.
No, I mean, I agree. Like, I don't know. It's because it's just old shit. Like, I really like Shattered Throne. I think it's like a beautiful piece of, design that they did and everything. I just don't want to go back and do that again. And like, again, like the newer dungeon, I loved the newer dungeon. Like, it actually made me a PvE lord. But like, I can't, like, dude, PvE for me is like, it's only fun for like a very small burst. Like, if I'm there like for weeks and weeks, I mean, like right now, dude, I'm farming this stupid raid still for the rocket and I still don't have it, and I'm so over it, dude. At this point, I'm just getting boss checkpoints because I have like 500 of the stupid tokens or something like that. I can't.
I guess my argument to that though is like, okay, would you rather have those 8 weapons or none? Because that is the alternative in the situation. Like
No, and that's the thing, though. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the point, right? Like, we wouldn't. They're giving us these because they don't have anything else, and like, that's fine. Like, I'm gonna grind for them. It's just, it's unfortunate. Like, I don't think I'm gonna grind as much, you know? Like if I don't get one within the first like, you know, couple weeks of grinding or something, like I'm just gonna not care.
Well, I would argue that's fine, right? I mean, like, if you look at how much me and you collectively have farmed Mindbenders versus
Oh
Seventh
my
Seraph,
god.
right?
Yeah, dude.
Like, the thing is, not every piece of loot is for everyone, and I think those 8 weapons aren't for players like us. Like,
I agree
realistically,
with
they're
that.
not. They're for the players who never experienced that content, and if that it makes them enjoy Shattered Throne and actually play
Yeah.
that, I think that's good.
I do too. it's as long as we get some new shit, that's literally all I care about.
I mean,
Agreed.
And
once
like, I mean,
again-
I'm gonna farm the fuck to get a palindrome. Like, I'm gonna go nuts for that.
Well, I mean, like, that's another thing. We have all new trials vendor refresh, including emblems, which could be new glows, which would be exciting, right?
Oh, that would be exciting.
Right?
Dude,
Yeah,
imagine
like
if they
that.
gave us like a scarab emblem, like in
And
D1.
green glow or some
Scarab
shit, right?
Emblem.
Yeah,
Like, the thing is, we have an entire playlist refresh, which is fantastic. We have,
I think that's great. I think the season 13 Crucible changes like to shacks and everything. I think that's great.
well, I mean, even just think about GMs though. You're still getting the same amount of exotics, the same amount of enhancement materials, and now
True.
you're also getting adept weapons. You're getting an entire. We still have access to Season of the Hunt weapons, like the SMG, for example. I know a lot of people like that, and we're getting an entire new season with Umbral engrams to farm them more efficiently. Like, I think that season 13 is probably, it might be the best season the entire year.
Okay.
Like, honestly, I don't see it going uphill from here. This is, I think, gonna be the peak of 2021 for Destiny.
Interesting. All right. I'm
Until
getting
VOG
knee-hyped
comes
for
in
it.
season 14, and
No,
then
I think it's gonna be a shit show. They're only gonna release VOG, and that's gonna be the only selling point for season 14.
I'm worried about that too.
And that's why I'm saying
They're just
though,
gonna ride the nostalgia, and then everyone's
That's
gonna be
why
like, "Wait,
I
there's
hope
actually
not.
no new shit."
the thing is,
I
think
hope
about
not.
it. VOG's coming, crossplay's coming, and they're both not coming in season 13, which means a majority of development time is being put into both of those things for the remaining 2 seasons.
Yeah,
And
Oh, let's
transmog.
see-
Don't forget transmog.
dude, transmog. See, for me, that's gonna be
See, that's the thing. Season 13, content-wise, is going to be the best because it has the most soul focus. In addition, like, the thing is, I think a lot of people don't realize Season 12, not Beyond Light, Season 12 lore
Yeah,
is
season-
fantastic.
Oh, I agree. I think it's
And, like,
amazing.
The thing is, the momentum they have with that going into Season 13 lore, which they actually have more time to flesh out because Beyond Light isn't as distracting. Like, I think Season 13 is going to be fantastic for the game. Season 14 is going to be another season of the worthy.
Yeah. Hey.
I hope
I
so,
really
man.
I hope they pop
My-
off with it. I really do, because I mean, they said flat out that that season or Beyond Light's launch, right? This season that we're in now was their big thing was implementing the new physics engine, the new meta changes, the weapon changes, things like that. It was all back end work. So that opens up the following seasons to actually incorporate content, right?
Well then, but then also with those following seasons, you have VOG, transmog, crossplay, and that's what's gonna clog it all up. That's what I think, at least.
Okay.
I think we're gonna have season 13, and we're gonna have a dry until Witch Queen.
I hope not.
Do you
I
think we're
really
gonna
hope
wait? So are we getting because I mean I haven't really thought about this too much, and I don't think they've said anything. But like since Beyond Light came out so late, like are we getting a season 15 before like Witch Queen? Like is Witch Queen like
Well,
gonna just
I
come out
don't
in
know.
September, or are they just
I don't
gonna
know,
switch to
but
November?
Maybe? I mean, I don't know. Oh, also something I just realized, right? We're getting new stasis fragments and aspects. Which, I mean,
Ugh.
that's not everyone's cup of tea, I know. But, like, that's like, what if... The amount of things that could imply for customization in this game.
Oh no, I'm dude. If it gets people to mix it up a little bit, like I'm totally
Mhm.
fine with that. Looking at
Yeah.
you, dusk field grenade.
Well, like, think about it, right? Even right now, we have the Tectonic Harvest on Behemoth. That is a reason in and of itself that makes Glacier grenades, if you're not running Heart of Immos Light, the best grenade, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
Glaciers aren't, like, at a higher level once you get experience of stasis, aren't insane. They're really good, but are they drastically better than, let's say, a Solar Grenade, a Lightning Grenade, a Suppressor? No. like they have their utility, but they're balanced out by the fact that they have double the cooldown, right? Dust fields
Yeah.
are the main outlier. The thing is,
Dust
Shin
Fields
glaciers
is
get
the-
nerfed 100%, but are they like major outliers? Not really. That's what dust fields are.
Yeah,
And-
Dusk Fields are.
But like,
Ugh.
think about it. Having more aspects on each class that incentivize you to maybe use cold snaps or like that type of thing. I think that's, if anything, that's gonna be great.
Yeah,
Like,
no,
no
I
matter
agree.
what-
I don't honestly like stasis is like pain, but at the same time, it doesn't really bother me that much. It's really
It's
It's
just
mostly
Spectre
just-
blades
it's
on
the
every
sl-
class, dude.
yeah. It's just the slow. I think the slow is the thing that gets me. Like being frozen is shitty.
Yeah, the slow
but-
is stronger than the freeze, which is kind of insane.
Yeah.
like, for,
Did you watch Cool Guys? Sorry, we're getting off topic. Cool Guys video is pretty.
Oh yeah.
Pretty
oh,
good
I
video.
already
People should
knew
watch
that,
that.
but yes.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I knew it too, but it's a good for people who don't know. It's a good watch.
Zach does
But-
really good videos.
Yeah, he's a
Indeed.
good dude.
He's very smart. He's very cool.
Ah, yes.
And with that pun, let's roll it into the practical portion, yeah?
Yes.
All right.
Cool. So the way this works, first before we flip over to the Be Right Back screen, you guys go use the restroom, get a drink of water, whatever you need. We will continue questions while we're doing the practical. It's not a super serious, like, high-end scrims. We want to try and bring people in from chat that are wanting to try out scrimming and want to learn from you guys directly. But first, what I need you both to do is drop all of your socials in chat. Your Twitter, your Twitch, your YouTube, your Insta, your OnlyFans, whatever you got. Drop it in chat, and then chat, it is your responsibility to go follow these two guests of the week. Show them some love for giving their time up to be here with us tonight.
Let's
And-
see.
And with that, we're going to go to the Be Right Back screen. They can hear, you guys can ask questions, and our teachers, Noise, Cheese, you guys can respond to the questions while we're on the Be Right Back screen, if they have them. Otherwise, we will flip over and we will get it popping.
Okay.
All right.